chief political analyst, John Dickerson. Now, what happens now with the Democrats? Who's the leader of the Democrats? Because it normally would be this person who had just been the president of the United States.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be Joe Biden because Joe Biden was asked to step aside for this person. But it's not likely to be her because she didn't ascend to the final position. Is it Hakeem Jeffries?
I
who
think
is
it's
the person?
an open question. And I think there's two interesting competitions going on. Democrats have to figure out what happened to them. I mean, the Democratic coalition was eaten away by Donald Trump. I mean, Latino voters in certain states, he did well with black voters in a way that Republicans haven't traditionally. Kamala Harris was unable to break into his hold with non-college white voters. And so, they have to find out what the electorate really looks like. So once they figure that out, then they've got to find a message that works with that electorate. And so I think it's a foot race to try to figure out who's going to speak for the party. Bernie Sanders, I don't know if you saw it, issued a scathing press release that basically said, the Democratic Party has ignored working people, and so of course this is the outcome that would happen. So he's put out the first very strong.
Wow.
And just if you want to fantasize for me for a moment, what about a working democracy and the way it would work is, imagine how great it would be if the two parties had a real fight in the political structure over how to make lives better for people who aren't born into privilege so that they can achieve the American dream through the routes of opportunity, many of which have been closed down, colleges more expensive, costs of healthcare have risen faster than regular inflation. Like a massive competition to get and help those voters, that would be great.
On Monday, after the show was over, I said to the audience that night, they said, who do you think is going to win? And I said, I don't know who's going to win. I said, but I do know that whoever wins tomorrow, something is going to end on Election Day, one way or the other. Given this outcome, what do you think ended, if anything?
Well, I guess the view among maybe some that Donald Trump was just a blip. I mean, he's the most fundamental figure in Republican politics. His party didn't pick up as many seats as Reagan did in 1980. But I don't know. I mean, I think he's a bigger political force in that party when you think about how he's changed it down to the studs than Ronald Reagan. And it's not just Donald Trump. What we saw is members of the Senate elected who are running on the Trump platform and on the steam of his success, patterns of behavior that are completely in sync with Donald Trump. It's not like there's a Republican class and a Donald Trump class. They are the same. That's an extraordinary political achievement, and I think there might have been some people who thought, it's kind of Donald Trump and can't be fully transferred to a party. I think thinking that might have ended.
You're a big fan of public institutions. What does Donald Trump mean to American public institutions?
Buckle up. I mean, which includes the press. He has followed through on a lot of the things he said, and so you've got to assume that the way he behaved and the things he said during the campaign about institutions, and also think about it. I mean, here is a president who is. I can't think of another president who has so consistently followed his impulses, come what may, as Donald Trump. And think of he no longer has the constraints we associate with the presidency. In the presidency, presidents always want to do stuff, but they're constrained by traditions of the office, by having to get reelected, by the legal system, by political censure if they get impeached. All four
An adversarial Congress.
An adversarial Congress, checks and balances. Those have all been taken away. So you have a person of impulse with all of those things gone. And I could imagine also you would add to that a chastened opposition, because Democrats you can imagine some Democrats saying, we talked about this January 6th stuff all the time. And, the voters kind of went the other way. They didn't care about it. And so as they calculate about how to get back into power, they might chasten themselves. They might, based on the signals coming pretty clear from the electorate, which means that's another check that might not be on the 47th president.
We have to take another little break here, but don't go away. We're right back with more John Dickerson, everybody.